We must train this generation now.
Our future depends upon Christian higher education.
Christian leaders.
The future. And a record enrollment, building a place that is making a difference in the lives of students.
Because the next generation is going to affect our world today.
There's not going to be anyone outwork me. I'm a competitor. I want to win.
A lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice. I put a lot of pressure on myself to play well.
I'm not going to quit.
Tough-minded and self-disciplined.
You got to make this drive. You got to score to win.
I drive myself to the limit.
I'm going to do the best I can.
It's always going to be a comforting feeling knowing that there's someone who's got my back no matter how I play.
I know that it's because of him that I am where I am, and without him, I'm nothing.
And we do welcome you to the Maxwell Leadership Center here on the campus of Ohio Christian University. Rick Cooper, JT Burcham, and the entire Fairfield media team. Our home opener here in 2013 is the Trailblazers on the floor, getting set to take on Northland International University, an NCCAA Division II school out of Dunbar, Wisconsin. Northland, a team that the Trailblazers know well. They at least have seen them. Northland was the number 2 seed in last year's national tournament in Springfield, Missouri, but the Trailblazers were the only team of the top 4 seeds that won in round 1 of that national tournament. And so as you'll hear from Tony Stockman in a few moments, it's not a team that he knows real well because they didn't really have to focus on them. They were focused on the teams that advanced out of that winner's bracket on national quarterfinal Thursday. And so Northland didn't do that. Like I said, neither did North Central, neither did the number 4 seed. And so OCU has seen them but has not played them in a long time. Again, they are the champions of the Midwest region from a year ago. They knocked off Kuiper in the regional championship a year ago to get to the national tournament. They went 0-2 in Missouri, as we said, losing on quarterfinal Thursday to Arlington Baptist, the number 7 seed, the team that OCU ended up playing for the national championship. And then they lost on Friday to number 3 seed North Central University out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. They lost that game 76-58. It was Pete Weary's final game as the head coach at Northland International. Pete has moved on. He's working as what they call a character coach. It's a coach that really tries to have influence in college athletics, just trying to be a mentor, somebody that can point people to Jesus, and he is doing that with Jacksonville University down in the state of Florida. And so they have had this plan in place. Mike McCarty came up from Shiloh Hills Christian School in Shiloh Hills, Georgia, was Pete Weary's assistant a year ago, with the understanding that when Weary left June 1st, Mike McCarty would take over and assume the role of athletic director and men's basketball coach. Northland is 0-2 coming into this game. They were in Chicago a week ago for a little tournament. They at Trinity International University, a team that is actually here this weekend, a team that Northland will see later in the weekend, tomorrow at 4 p.m. local time. But they lost on Saturday last week, 93-58 to NAIA Clark University out of Iowa. It was senior Micah Baines that led the way with 21 points for Northland. Clark University shot a blistering 50% as a team, and they held Northland to only 29% shooting, and they lost by 17 on day number 1 of that tournament against the host school, Trinity International, 91-74. The big statistic there, they led by 10 at the intermission, but they got outscored by 27 points in the second half of that game. Trinity was 10 of 20 on threes. Northland a dismal 2 of 16 on threes. When I talked to their assistant coach, Austin McCoy, I said, Coach, what are the strengths of this team? And he said, Rick, it's maturity. We've got 3 guys, I think 3 starters that are 25 years or older, which is unheard of. But he said that maybe one of the weaknesses of this team is shooting, that we're a little bit streaky, and you get a glimpse of that in weekend number 1 when they shot 29% on day number 1, and then they, like I said, went 2 of 16 on threes in that loss on Friday. The Trailblazers come into this one. Obviously, they are the defending national champs. They have won 23 in a row against NCCAA Division II schools. The last time they lost, Gary Bailey and Grace Bible College back in the 2012 national semifinals out at Central Bible College in Springfield, Missouri. They have won 22 of their last 24 games dating back to a season ago. Coming off a loss this past weekend, they were in the Queen City at President's Hall in Cincinnati. Cincinnati Christian beat them 86-81. CCU jumping out to a 9-0 lead in the first 2 minutes of the game, but the Trailblazers answered back a 13-4 run midway through the first half. Helped them take a 42-39 lead into the break. It was a back-and-forth affair in the second half. OCU a chance to tie it, trailing by 3 with 33.6 seconds left, but their three-point attempt was blocked, and Cincinnati held on to win 86-81. Kenny Gaynor led CCU with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists. It was senior Ernie McCoy in his first year with OCU with a game-high 26 points on 10 of 12 shooting. The difference in that game, you'll hear it statistically, you'll hear Jamie Batten and Tony Stockman talk about it as well. They were out-rebounded by 15, 44-29 in that one. CCU also a decisive advantage at the charity stripe, where they made 27 free throws compared to OCU's just 9. On Friday, OCU opened up the 2013-14 campaign with a win, an 84-81 overtime win over NAIA Brescia University in that Cincinnati Christian Tip-Off Classic. Wesley Russell really got out of the gate quickly with that one. 30 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. Freshman J.J. Smith added 14 and 7, and junior Evan Mills 14 and 6 to help get the Trailblazers win number 1. So the Trailblazers 1-1, Northland 0-2, and the first game of the season, at least in the Leadership Center tonight. It's Thursday Night Hoops presented by Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency and Westfield Insurance Group. Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency, where insurance just got easier. 448 North Court Street in Circleville. You can visit ZwoyerInsurance.com. And this is the HER Realtors Dan and Donna Daily pregame show. This entire weekend is the HER Realtors Dan and Donna Daily tip-off tournament. HER Realtors Dan and Donna Daily, the premier real estate agent team in Central Ohio. Dan and Donna Daily, the experience and resources necessary whether you plan to buy or sell. Dan and Donna Daily, HER Realtors. For more information, call 740-477-5509 or visit HERRealtors.com/Donna Daily. Again, that's HERRealtors.com/Donna Daily. We'll take a break here on the HERRealtors.com pregame show. When we come back, we'll check in with the second-year head coach of the Trailblazers, Tony Stockman, to get his thoughts on tonight's contest. It's OCU 1-1, Northland International 0-2. You're listening to Ohio Christian University basketball here on the OCU Sports Network.
Holt International presents the Very Merry Christmas Tour, featuring new song, Audio Adrenaline, Sidewalk Prophets, Jason Castro, and special guest, Love in the Outcome. Share the gift of hope with your family and friends this season and enjoy one of Christian music's most beloved Christmas songs. Join New Song for the Very Merry Christmas Tour, featuring new song, Audio Adrenaline, Sidewalk Prophets, Jason Castro, and Love in the Outcome.
Presented by Fairfield Christian Academy at Fairfield Christian Church in Lancaster. December 11th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. Tickets at itickets.com.
Back here on the HER Realtors pregame show. It is Thursday Night Hoops presented by Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency as we get you set for the home openers. The Trailblazers on the floor right now getting set to take on the Pioneers from Northland International University. The head coach of the Trailblazers, Tony Stockman, joins us here on the HER Realtors pregame show. And Coach, 3-game stretch here coming up Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 3 early season tests against Robert Morris, Point Park, and tonight against Northland International. The 2 seed from last year's national tournament out in Springfield. I know it's 7 months ago, but what do you remember about Mike McCarty's bunch out there in Missouri?
Well, honestly, not much about that because they lost in the first round, so we started watching the other guys. But I have watched them from this year. Very good, very physical team, some very skilled players. They got a big guy that'll go outside and shoot and take you off the dribble. We're going to be on top of our game to have a chance to win tonight.
And as I said, a big weekend off the court as well. Banner raising tomorrow night, ring ceremony tomorrow night, a special opportunity for the guys tomorrow afternoon with Ohio State great Clark Kellogg, a VIP reception. As an outsider, looks like a lot of things that have the potential to possibly be a distraction. How concerned are you with that?
Yeah, definitely. I'm worried about the guys tonight overlooking Northland, which is a very good team, and they're going to give us all we can handle. Just looking at those teams that are above our level, so to say. So hopefully our focus is there and that we come out and play the way that we want to play. But like you said, a lot of things going on. Just going to enjoy it. Beginning of the season, have some fun, play some games, and enjoy the other things, and then we'll get down to business.
We're talking with head coach Tony Stockman of the OCU Trailblazers, getting set for OCU and Northland International here in Circleville, Ohio. Coach, your second season at the helm. Any easier now that you've had a year under the books? Maybe guys, just for you as a coach, and maybe the guys understanding the expectations and the culture that come with a Tony Stockman-led team?
Yeah, a lot of things. I think the first thing is just me knowing what to expect for traveling, for games, for meals. I think that was the thing that made me stressed out more than anything. I know basketball, I'm getting basketball good. So now I feel comfortable with those things, so it's been a lot less stressful before. So I'm relaxed and really enjoying the ride.
What about for the guys? Have they adjusted more to you as well?
Yeah, I mean, when we started back up, I mean, we just hit the ground running because it's a lot of the same things we do, and we understand. They understand how I coach, I understand how they learn, and so it's been very good that way.
A lot of changes from that team a year ago, talking about some of the guys that have graduated. Nelson, Kostoff, expected those guys to be gone, but some departures early as well, talking about Crater and Benson and the injury to Jimmy Horton, the academic issues right now with Trey Vaughn. You look at all that, what's the biggest hole that you're going to have trouble filling, especially here early season?
Yeah, it's going to be tough to replace James and Trey, but we got a lot of guys to do it. We're going to have to do it by committee, I think, in both positions. At our post position, we're going to have 4 guys with Chris Curious, Joe Collier, Lawrence Parsons, and Christian Matthews. And then at the 3 spot where we're going to miss Trey's threes is going to be Danny, and it's going to be Nick Baker. So, like I said, it's going to have to be by committee.
Maybe you lose some stuff, but maybe you also gain some areas. Collectively as a group, where might this team be stronger than the one that we saw a year ago?
Yeah, we're definitely more, I would say, intelligent, basketball smarts. And like I said, the guys from last year all got better that returned, and then we added some guys that add to our team. I think Ernie McCord is going to be really good for us, and J.J. Smith. Very excited for them early on in the season.
Of those new faces, who's the guy that might jump in and immediately contribute right out of the gate, and why?
I think both of them. I think Ernie, he's a veteran player, transfer in, so he's ready to play, a lot of experience, very smart, quick guard. He can score and pass. And then J.J., I mean, he just has a knack for the ball. He finds the ball wherever it is. You don't have to go through him. He's going to get it and score. Plays well with other guys. And then Lawrence, as his knee gets better, he's coming off his ACL injury from last year. As his knees get better, I'm excited to see what he's going to bring.
Kickoff right now to the HER Classic, at least for your guys. Opportunity against Northland. What are the 2 or 3 things you're stressing to the guys that you've got to do to get a W?
We got to be more physical. That was the thing we had last game against CCU. They came out and basically punched us in the mouth, and we kind of backed up. We fought back, but throughout the game, they just continued to be more physical than us on the rebounds, and it's keeping us out of the paint. We have to be able to keep them out of the paint. They're very good drivers and penetrators, and then they're going to crash the boards. We have to rebound the ball.
Coach, appreciate your time. We look forward to the thoughts after the game as well.
Thank you.
That's the head coach of the Trailblazers, Tony Stockman, here on the HER Realtors Dan and Donna Daily pregame show, the official real estate agents of OCU Athletics. You can visit them at 1274 North Court Street in Circleville or call 740-477-5509. We'll take a break and introduce you to tonight's starting lineups. It's Ohio Christian and Northland International. This is the OCU Trailblazers Sports Network.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Back at where you were, you end up saying things like, what was I thinking?
Holt International presents the Very Merry Christmas Tour, featuring new song Audio Adrenaline, Sidewalk Prophets, Jason Castro, and special guest Love in the Outcome. Share the gift of hope with your family and friends this season and enjoy one of Christian music's most beloved Christmas songs. Join New Song for the very Merry Christmas Tour, featuring New Song, Audio Adrenaline, Sidewalk Prophets, Jason Castro, and Love in the Outcome.
Presented by Fairfield Christian Academy at Fairfield Christian Church in Lancaster. December 11th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. Tickets at itickets.com.
National anthem means we are just about set for the nightcap here in the HER Realtors Tip-Off Tournament, and it will be Northland International University out of Dunbar, Wisconsin, champions of the Midwest region a season ago. They will take on your Trailblazers, and let's meet tonight's starting lineup. First of all, starting with the Midwest region champs, the Pioneers, who come in at 0-2. Their point guard is Micah Baines. Let me say this before we get into this. They have 3 starters from Wilson, North Carolina, which a little trivia question. Who's the OCU player, former player from Wilson, North Carolina? The answer is Mr. Tay Spell, who played here about 5 or 6 years ago. Micah Baines, one of those 3 guys from North Carolina, team best a season ago with points and assists, 16 points, 3.9 assists. Josh Conover is a second-team All-American. He'll start at the 2-guard, 6'3" senior from Reading, Pennsylvania. He's a co-captain on this team along with Micah Baines, 12.8 points and 5.6 assists a season ago. He had 2.5 steals a year ago, which is number 3 nationally. The small forward is James Hinnant. Can't wait to see this young man play. 6'1" freshman from Wilson, North Carolina. He's 26 years old. He won the Sprite Slam Dunk Showdown in Washington, D.C. Not too long ago. Got an opportunity to play on a team coached by Kobe Bryant. In a game, he scored 32 points. Didn't play high school basketball, so not necessarily a basketball star, if you will, but a guy that can absolutely jump out of the gym. So we're eager to see him play tonight. Anthony Lewis will start at the 4, 6'5" senior from Wilson, North Carolina. Pete Weary, his coach from a year ago, calls him a walking mismatch, and he averaged last season 11.9 points and a team best 8.2 rebounds. The man in the middle is John Egan. He came off the bench a year ago, 6'3" junior from Union Grove, Wisconsin, 1.9 points and a team best 44% on threes a year ago. Their head coach, his first-year head coach, Mike McCarty. He's the AD and men's basketball coach. Second year here, was an assistant to Pete Weary a year ago. 2001 Northland International grad, a Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education, has a master's in biblical study. Previously, before Northland, as we said, was a high school basketball coach down at Shiloh Hills Christian School in Shiloh Hills, Georgia. Heard the opening was coming available and took his team up to Northland, played in a tournament up there a year ago, or 2 years ago when he got offered the job, and kind of was the guy in waiting a season ago when Pete Weary announced he would be moving on. McCarty, a wife Rachel of 12 years, and a son Noah, who I talked to the other day in the athletic department. He is 8 years old. Rachel, an NIU grad as well. The starting lineup for your Trailblazers. The point guard is Evan Bartlett, 5'9" sophomore from Huber Heights, Ohio. A season ago averaged 4 points and 2.5 assists. The 2-guard is a good one. It's junior Wesley Russell, the 2013 National Tournament MVP, the Mideast Region Player of the Year. In that national tournament a year ago, 14 points and a team best 8 assists. A season ago, he averaged 16, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and already this year, 22 points a game and a team best 5.5 assists. The small forward tonight is, help me here, Rick Cooper, first game of the year. I'm sleeping on the job a little bit. The small forward tonight is Danny Schrock, the sophomore from Sugar Creek, Ohio, averaging 1.5 points and 2.5 assists. The power forward tonight is Evan Mills, 6'5 junior from Columbus, second-team all-region performer a season ago when he averaged 8 points and 5 rebounds, shooting 46% from the field. And the man in the middle tonight is going to be Chris Carius, at least starting. It'll be a big man by committee. Tony Stockman told us that 3 or 4 or 5 guys will play down there. Carius, the 6'8 sophomore from Columbus, played primarily on the JV squad with Defiance College a season ago. He is a Westland High School grad, averaging 5.5 points here through 2 games. The head coach of OCU in his second season is Tony Stockman. 28 wins, 9 losses. He wins at a clip of 76%. He is assisted tonight by Mr. Ty Manuel and Mr. Jamie Batten. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the assistant from Northland, Mr. Austin McCoy, who spent a big chunk of time with us preparing on the Northland side of things earlier in the week. So we say thanks to him as well. Your officials for tonight's game: the referee is Frank Bullock, and the U1 is Kenneth Tucker, and the U2 is Chris Nelson. Was talking to the referees before this game, and I said, gentlemen, any points of emphasis this year? And one of the things that they're going to keep an eye on, basically, it's something the NBA kind of put into play a couple years ago. You are not allowed to put your hands on a guy anywhere anymore. Not underneath the basket, not on the perimeter. And so what that's going to mean is there's probably going to be a lot more fouls called in 2013-14 than we saw a season ago. Trailblazers in the home white, Northland in the visiting black. OCU with the blue numbers. It'll be Frank Bullock to throw it up, and Evan Mills taking on number 23, Anthony Lewis, and Northland controls the opening tip. The Pioneers out of Dunbar, Wisconsin will go right to left here in the first half. Underneath, it is Lewis, who took it right at Evan Mills, went to the left hand and dropped it in. OCU quickly to the other end. Underneath, it's Chris Carius. Right side, it's Russell, fading from 17, front of the rim, no good. Long rebound is grabbed by Danny Schrock to Bartlett. This is junior Wesley Russell. Back out to Bartlett. Had trouble handling it and then tried to raise up and shoot a 3. That's a tough shot after having problems on the catch. It came up short in the rebound of the Pioneers. Right side, Lewis will fire a 3. Right side of the iron, no good. Conover the rebound. Back out to Baines. The southpaw fires a 3. No good. He caroms around and then dropped in. Didn't look like it was going to stay down, but it did. And Micah Baines, 40% on threes a season ago, connects here. And very quickly, it's 5-0 Northland. Russell to the left side, and Mills off the dribble drive fires a 3. Came up wide right, and Anthony Lewis with a rebound. Pioneers looking to run. Right side to Lewis. Into the lane, tried to drop it off, and they're going to call an offensive foul as Danny Schrock was there to help on the penetration from Anthony Lewis. Foul on Anthony Lewis is his first, team first, and the turnover will give it back to OCU. 18:41 to play here in the first half. It is Thursday Night Hoops. It is presented all season long by Zoyer and Associates Insurance Agency and Westfield Insurance Group. Zoyer and Associates, where insurance just got easier. 448 North Court Street in Circleville. Visit ZoyerInsurance.com. 18:25 to play. 20 on the shot clock. OCU trailing 5-0. Carius off the two-man game, fires a 3 just left of center, no good. Mills a rebound, and they're going to call a foul on the floor, I believe is going to be the call. Looked like there was plenty of contact, and finally Frank Bullock blew the whistle, and they're going to call the foul on whom? On number 11. What they call here, they got 11 on the board, and Evan Mills wearing 11. Nobody wearing 11 for the black, and now Frank Bullock going to talk it over with one of the umpires, but Mills had the basketball. If anybody was fouled here, it was... There we go. They charged it to Evan Mills, who had the basketball, and instead they get it right, and say it's on John Egan, the junior from Union Grove, Wisconsin, a third-year player, first-year starter, his first, team second. 18:15 to play. Quick inbound to Danny Schrock, who fires a 3 and hits. They're going to be leaning on Danny Schrock a lot more this year with Evan Miller, with Trey Vaughn unavailable due to academics. Top of the key. Baines came up short on the 3. Russell looking to run. Russell, left elbow, 15-footer, bingo. It's one of the points of emphasis for Wesley Russell this offseason, the ability to shoot the basketball on the move. Tony Stockman says he is much better doing it, and it's going to be much harder to guard as a result. Egan to the left wing, and the lefty Conover. 3 lefties on the floor right now. Anthony Lewis will fire a 3 left side, make it a long 2 as he put it over Carius and put it in. And what a call on the sideline over here. There we go. 7-5 is the score. It was a 2 there by Anthony Lewis. So Lewis with 4, Micah Baines with 3, Russell with 2, Schrock with 3 for OCU. 17:23 to play first half. Trailblazers trailing by a bucket. Left side, it's Evan Mills, guarded by Lewis. Out to Evan Bartlett. Bartlett trying to work off a Carius, goes right wing to Russell. Shot clock at 15. Underneath Carius, he double dribble. Let's see if they call it. They did. Gonna let it go. It was one of those plays where the guy kind of dribbled the ball as he caught it. Some referees let him go, and looked like 2 out of the 3 were gonna let him play, and then the U1 jumped in and said, no, that's a double dribble, and the turnover will give it back to the Pioneers. They lead 7-5 under 17 minutes to play, and John Egan being tended to by the OCU training staff. He is checked out of this game. And into the game is 32 Matt Barker. Runner at the free throw line is good again. Anthony Lewis with 3 field goals here early. 6 points, and it's 9-5. Bartlett to the other end, and it was slapped out of bounds by Micah Baines. Northland, what did they bring? 5, 6, 7, about 9 guys. Jordan Harrison would have been their 10th. He would have been the first big off the bench, but Harrison, a member of the soccer team, they just qualified for nationals, and an illegal screen going to be called here, and it's going to be charged to number 11, Evan Mills. To finish that thought, the soccer team is going to leave for Kissimmee, Florida before the basketball team gets back home, and so it ended up being a decision for Harrison what he was going to do, and he elected to stay in Dunbar and travel to Kissimmee. Kind of a reserve soccer player, has more of a role with this basketball team, but it is Florida, it is the national tournament, and so Barker will be the first big off the bench for Northland as a result. Conover, the second team All-American, into the lane, tried the runner, and they're going to call a foul here as Lawrence Parsons checked in, and it looked like he got a heck of a lot of basketball, but apparently got something down low, some body, because it was clean up top. The foul on Parsons is his first, and the team's second. It'll take Josh Conover, the senior from Reading, Pennsylvania, as we said earlier, was a part of that soccer team a season ago that went all the way to the national championship before losing to Moody 1-0, and the first free throw is short. Another substitution for OCU. We get our first look at J.J. Smith. According to the coaching staff, the most prized recruit that they got here, guy that can do a little bit of everything. Had 14 points, 13 rebounds over 2 games in Cincinnati, so he is checked in. Parsons is checked in. Second free throw is good by Conover, who splits a pair. Into the game as well as Ernie McCoy. First year with OCU, 4th team in 4 years. Eager to see him play. Guy that Tony Stockman says has a little bit of Russell and a little bit of Trey Vaughn in him. It's a pretty good combination. It's 10-5. Northland has doubled up OCU. Russell into the lane, drops it off to McCoy, who goes to the rim but could not finish. And a foul is going to be called after 32 Matt Barker snagged the defensive rebound. See who they charge this to. It's going to be on Lawrence Parsons, who has quickly picked up 2. And I talked to Tony Stockman today. Tony said that's one of the problems with Lawrence. He's so aggressive, so physical. Got into some foul trouble last Friday in the game against Brescia. Saturday, Cincinnati had some size underneath, so the men in stripes let him play a little bit, but Parsons with 2 quick ones there, and I'm not sure he liked either of the calls. The first one looked a little bogus, if you ask me. 10-5, Northland by 5, under 16 minutes to play in the half. Matt Barker to the right baseline, and Lewis from about 17. It came up short. This is Wesley Russell. He's looking to run. Russell into the lane, put it up and in. Russell with 4. It's 10-7, Northland by 3. Baines to Lewis. On the right wing, here's the dunk contest winner, Hinnant. Out to Conover. Picked up there by J.J. Smith. Underneath, it's Lewis, who has been a problem early. Little step through and then fades and hits again. Anthony Lewis with 4 field goals and 8 points, and there's a steal. Hinnant's got it into the lane, drops it off to Conover, back to Hinnant to the reverse, he put it in. First field goal for James Hinnant, the 26-year-old true freshman from Wilson, North Carolina. And OCU, just like that, has been doubled up. It's 14-7, under 15 minutes to play. Luke Valenzuela will check in at the next dead ball as Evan Mills got free and scores. It's 14-9. Hinnant quickly to the other end. Back to the right side, and Lewis. Lewis working against J.J. Smith this time, trying to do a little bit too much. Came up short on the fadeaway 3. Russell tried to get it to Mills, who never could grab it. Ball on the floor. Collier on the floor. And then what are they going to call? A kick ball on Joe Collier. And it's going to give it back to Northland. Luke Valenzuela in for Northland. And number 22, Nick Baker. The, 4th Baker boy that has played at OCU. Talking about big brothers Tim, Mike, and John. And I see a couple of them, or at least one of them, Michael, up in the crowd with mom watching tonight. Where would the OCU program be without the Baker boys? That's the question of the night. 14-9. Lead is 5. Right side. Good defense there by Nick Baker. Forces a bad shot that he got a piece of. Russell, 15-footer, hits again. This is what Northland did a little bit in Springfield. We're going to talk about it. When we were out there, we called the entire championship. Took a lot of bad shots on the perimeter. They had a couple guys underneath that were really effective, and I thought personally they settled for a lot of jump shots, and they've settled for a couple bad ones on the last 2 possessions. Barker underneath, trying to get free, put it up, didn't look very good, but nearly put it in, but got an offensive rebound and dropped it in. First one didn't look very pretty, but Matt Barker, the freshman out of Chicago, stayed with it. Nick Baker to the other end, just hit a 3. First points for Nick Baker. Had a point a weekend ago, so made a free throw. That's his first college field goal for the true freshman out of Hilliard-Darby High School on the southwest side of Columbus. Left side, Micah Baines fires a 3, no good, and Russell sky high to grab the rebound. Russell looking to run again. Little stop and start into the lane. Put it on the rim, no, but he was fouled and will shoot 2. Going to charge this foul to 32, Matt Barker, his first, team third. It's a 10-hour trip from Dunbar, Wisconsin to Circleville, Ohio. Plan, according to assistant coach Austin McCoy, was to drive 7 of it on Wednesday and 3 of it today. So first free throw by Russell is up and in, and obviously no charter planes, no charter buses. So obviously a tough trip. We'll see how the legs are on the undermanned Pioneers. First free throw is up and in for Russell. He has 7 points. Austin McCoy coming over to take a look at John Egan as Russell puts the second in, give him 8 points in the game. Another substitution for OCU. We get our first look at Chris Little, the true freshman from Bishop Hartley, wears number 23. He's guarding Valenzuela right now. Now picked up by McCoy is Valenzuela. OCU on a little mini run has tied this game at 16 with under 13 minutes to play in the half. Right baseline, it's Baines. Back out to Luke, don't call me Fernando Valenzuela, and a foul out there is going to be charged to Ernie McCoy. And again, McCoy didn't do much, but under the new rules, you put a hand on him, and they're going to blow the whistle. Checking in for Northland, number 15, Noah Petraz. And sitting down for a breather, first time, is Anthony Lewis. Lewis sits with 8. Petraz from Ripon, Wisconsin. 12:23 to play in the half. Tied at 16. Baines picked up tightly by McCoy. To the left wing and Valenzuela. Valenzuela, little step through, and again, that's a bad shot. Good defense there by Chris Little. Quick outlet to Baker, who went to the left hand but could not finish. Collier tried to tip it in but couldn't get to the basketball. Conover threw it away at the other end. Another turnover back to OCU. First appearance of the night for Christian Sunday Matthias, the freshman out of Nigeria. He's a guy that Tony Stockman playing at the 5 once right now, but once Lawrence Parsons begins to emerge, Tony Stockman dreaming of a day come NCCA 2 region and regular season play where he can move Matthias to the 4. He says he's a guy that nobody in the country will be able to guard at the 4. He's just too quick. Right side 3 on the rim by J.J. Smith, no good, and Baines the defensive rebound. To the right side, 3 by Hinnant, never got there. Taken out of the air by McCoy. Still tied at 16. Both teams on a little bit of a scoring drought right here. Quickly to the other end, put up and in transition by Noah Petraz. First 2 for the true freshman, a local kid from near Dunbar. 18-16 and what? And an issue with the shot clock. It says 23, and they're going to put 29 on it. Here comes John Egan, so that's a good sign, especially if you're a Northland fan. And well, it looks like we've got a timeout. It looks like Northland has called it. They're going to sit him down, so it's a full. Why don't we take it with him? JT Burcham will take a 60-second timeout, 11:14 to play here in the first half. Northland 18, OCU 16. It's Thursday Night Hoops presented by Zweyer and Associates Insurance Agency here on the OCU Sports Network.
Fairfield Christian Church is honored to present An Evening with Randy Stonehill. Randy Stonehill, Wednesday evening, November 13th at 7:30. Bring a friend and enjoy the music. Bring a friend and enjoy the fun. Bring a friend and enjoy the inspiration of Randy Stonehill. This love offering concert is sponsored in part by WLRY 88.9 FM.
In our nation, we have suffered many natural disasters and tragedies. The world needs prepared first responders who can provide aid where it is needed most. At Ohio Christian University, we are training leaders who will help when tragedy strikes. Enroll today. Earn your bachelor's degree in disaster management at Ohio Christian. To enroll or to donate to relief efforts, go online to oconline.com. Together, we can make a difference.
It is Thursday Night Hoops presented by Zweyer & Associates Insurance Agency and Westfield Insurance Group. They are the official insurance agents of OCU Athletics. Zweyer & Associates Insurance Agency, where insurance just got easier. 448 North Court Street in Circleville. Call 740-474-6023 to learn more. We say thanks to Jeff Bishop and the team over there at Zweyer & Associates Insurance Agency and Westfield Insurance Group. Left side 3 is up and in by J.J. Smith. So his first field goal, at least here in the Leadership Center. True freshman that chose OCU over Defiance and Capital. 19-18. Trailblazers have taken their first lead of this game with 10:45 to play in the half. Left side, it's Conover. Conover guarded tightly there by J.J. Smith. Conover into the lane, and again another ill-advised shot. Taken away by OCU. Taken away by Chris Little. Little to the left side, and Smith. Smith got the step, drops it off underneath to Smith. J.J. to Chris. Chris couldn't control it. He brings it back out. Underneath J.J. Smith, little jump hook is up and in. Have you ever seen a college basketball game with as many lefties on the floor tonight? I mean, there are more southpaws than there are right-handers. 10:05 to play first half, 21-18 OCU. It is Thursday Night Hoops presented by Zweyer & Associates Insurance Agency, and they're going to get a foul about 25 feet away from the basket on Nick Baker. You better believe it's going to take a little bit of time for these players to adjust to the new rule. Anthony Lewis back in for Mike McCarty's squad. Sitting down is number 15, Noah Petraz. Petraz sits with 2. Anthony Lewis back in with 8. Hinnant will run the show at least here. The true freshman. Can you call a 26-year-old a true freshman? That's the question of the night. Left baseline, it's Egan. Egan guarded by Baker, over to the right wing, and a Hinnant. Hinnant, little runner on the rim, no good, and nobody else in there but Sunday Matthias to grab the rebound. Quickly to the other end, Baker for 3, on the rim, no good, but the tip in midair is up and in by J.J. Smith, who has come off the bench and had 7 points early. Conover again out of control underneath, could not get it up near the rim. Mike McCarty wants a foul. Nothing called. Baker underneath to Sunday Matthias. Little jump hook with the left hand. Missed everything. Ball on the floor. Bartlett on the floor. And finally they're going to call a jump ball. And the possession arrow will keep it with OCU. 20 on the shot clock. 9:07 to play in the game. Matt Barker back in for Northland. He returns with 2. Egan in there and quickly back out. Has not scored to this point. Here comes Chris Carius. Carius back in scoreless, and Sunday Matthias sits down. Chris Little with it for OCU. Baker off a screen on the baseline, and he hits a 3. What do they execute? They call Nick Baker a system kid that just really knows what he's doing, and really ran off a screen nicely there and tripled on the right baseline. OCU by 8, 26-18. Northland has cooled off considerably in this first half, and I would attribute it to shot selection more than anything. Underneath, Barker tried to put it up on the rim, and not sure if it was Little coming down or J.J. Smith behind him, but somebody got him on the arm, and that somebody is going to be Chris Little. It's his first, and the team's 6th. 8:37 to play first half, 26-18 is our score. Couple free throws coming up here from Matt Barker. Barker, a righty, bends the knees and hits. Northland now 2 of 3 from the stripe. Mills and Schrock back in as Baker and Smith sit down. Chris Smith sits down as well as Wesley Russell is back in for him. And here comes Noah Petras, so a quick breather as Conover sits down. There are not many minutes on the bench for these Pioneers. They are having to check out of the game and get right back in. They just don't have a whole lot of depth tonight, especially if Egan can't give them much. Again, as we said, Jordan Harrison not here. Back in Dunbar, their first big off the bench as Bartlett fires a 3, no good. Battle for the rebound between Lewis and Mills. Now 2 or 3 other guys get involved, and possession arrow favors Northland as they call the second jump ball of this first half. Pizza Cottage is the official pizza of OCU Athletics. They've returned to Circleville. Same great taste since 1972. Order now, 740-474-3620. Pizza Cottage, the official pizza of OCU Athletics. Hinnant to the left wing, and Baines, a dump underneath to Barker, went to a jump hook, and it came up short. The rebound into the hands of the sophomore Danny Schrock. Russell, dribble drive, sets up Bartlett to the left wing, and Schrock, who fires a 3, came up a little bit short. Anthony Lewis with the rebound. Coach McCarty tells him to run to the other end. Hinnant on the run, no good. Carius, the defensive board. Bartlett tried to find Russell, and they're going to say it went off of Russell's foot, and it's going to go back to Northland. Conover quickly back into the game as Micah Baines will sit down. I think it's the first breather of the game for the senior Micah Baines. Played 2 years at NCAA Division II Presbyterian College, and in his second year here at Northland. 26-19, Trailblazers lead is 7. Ball knocked out of bounds by Evan Mills. It'll stay with the Pioneers. 7:28 to play first half. 22 on the shot clock. The right wing, it's Noah Petraz. Petraz guarded tightly by Schrock to the baseline and Lewis. Lewis spins around Mills, but Mills gets back to pick him up. Hinnant firing a three, spun around the rim, no good. Carius the rebound, a long outlet to Schrock. Schrock to Bartlett. Bartlett to the left wing and Russell. Back out to Bartlett. And OCU and Evan Bartlett will reset with under 7 minutes to play in the half. 17 on the shot clock. Russell to Schrock. Back to Russell, 10 on the shot clock. Dump underneath to Carius. Carius backing down against Barker. Little jump hook, he put it up and in. They're trying to get more of that from Chris Carius. So he needs to be a little bit more physical, and he backed down the smaller Matt Barker very nicely there. Foul is going to be charged Bartlett. It's a hold on Evan. It's his first. And it is the team 7th. And so that will take Josh Conover, the second-team All-American, to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1. He was a 75% free throw shooter a season ago. And the first one is right there. The co-captain is Josh Conover, first-team region performer. Was a 2-time All-American in soccer as well. Back in 2010 and 2011. Played in 2012, but did not get any awards and is elected, as we said, not to play his senior season. Second free throw came up short. Cuts it to 28-20. Little turnaround again by Carius. Looked good, but would not stay down. Rebound Northland to the other end. Petraz underneath to Barker. Good idea, but Wesley Russell was waiting to take that one away. Mills to Schrock. Schrock into the lane, was blocked from behind by Petraz. Looked like he got a lot of basketball, and I think they're going to charge it on the guy that was in front of Danny Schrock, talking about Josh Conover. And it's his first, team 4th. So 4 different Northland players with 1 apiece. Trailblazers have 5 guys with a foul. The only player for either team with 2 is freshman Lawrence Parsons, who picked those 2 up quickly. First free throw by Schrock is no good. One of the big questions for this OCU team is whether or not this guy shooting the free throws right here, talking about Danny Schrock, can kind of replicate what Trey Vaughn did a season ago. Second free throw is no good. Anthony Lewis got the defensive rebound, and then Northland called a 30-second timeout with a 28-20 deficit. So that is the big question. You got to have shooters on the perimeter to keep everybody honest, and boy, was Trey Vaughn a critical part of what transpired for this team a year ago. And the question is, will Danny Schrock be able to replicate that? Tonight's game is brought to you by Rack's Roast Beef. They're a proud supporter of OCU Athletics, located just south of Circleville on US 23. Be sure to try a delicious Rack's stacked high with thinly sliced tender roast beef. I'd rather Rack's. Wouldn't you? It is Thursday Night Hoops, presented by Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency and Westfield Insurance Group. The team at Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency, specializing in insurance services for auto, home, commercial, and life since 1871. Visit ZwoyerInsurance.com. 28-20. Turnover gives it back to OCU, and Carius, off a beautiful pass from Russell, drops it in for his second field goal here in the first half. It's 30-20. OCU by 10 as we near 5.5 minutes to play in the opening half. Lewis picked up by Mills. Left side, Baines off a screen from Barker, went to the rim, but he too could not finish. Good help defense there by the OCU bigs. Underneath, Russell again, a no-look pass to Carius. Back out, Bartlett for 3 on the rim, no good. Lewis the rebound, and a loose ball foul is going to be charged to Evan Mills. And that'll be number 2 on Mills. So Mills joins Lawrence Parsons as the 2 Trailblazers with a couple fouls and mass substitutions here for OCU, at least 3 of them, as it looks like Carius and Russell will stay on the floor Baker, Ernie McCoy, and J.J. Smith all back in, and the first free throw is no good. Northland now 3 of 7 from the line. Left side, J.J. Smith off the Russell penetration, hits again. 10 first half points. That's a game-high 10 for J.J. Smith, the true freshman out of Columbus. And OCU has opened up a 13-point advantage. Left side, Micah Baines. Baines into the lane. Shot over McCoy, no good. McCoy the rebound and a foul to compound it by Micah Baines. And that is his first. Team only their 5th, so no free throws yet. John Egan back in. And Matt Barker will sit down. Barker sits with 2. Egan back scoreless. 10 points for J.J. Smith, 8 for Wesley Russell, 18 of OCU's 33 here in the first 15 minutes and change. And the Trailblazers lead is 13. It's 33-20. Baker back out to McCoy between the circles. Hands it off to Russell off a screen from Carius. May have carried it there. No call. J.J. Smith into the lane. Left-handed runner is right there. This guy looks like he's got the full arsenal. Can shoot it, can post, can get to the rim. Valenzuela left side over Baker, and he put it in. Nicely done by Valenzuela as Baker came over and played really good D. 35-22. 4 minutes exactly to play in an entertaining first half. Been a game of runs. Northland got out to a big lead, but OCU has answered. Russell's 3 missed everything, and the ball went out of bounds off OCU as Valenzuela and J.J. Smith battled for it. Chris Smith, Joe Collier back in for the Trailblazers as Russell and Chris Carius will sit down. .347 to play first half. Trailblazers by 13. Valenzuela to Conover. Got a good look on a 3, but could not put it in. A good box out there by J.J. Smith on Anthony Lewis. Grabs the rebound. Here's Chris Smith for 3. No. Anthony or make that J.J. Smith an offensive rebound, and he put it in. 14 for J.J. Smith. Conover double team. Back out to Lewis. Fires a 3. Front of the rim, no good. And rebound J.J. Smith. And it looks like a lot of the same from the Pioneers right now. A lot of settling for jump shots and settling for bad shots. And a hand check going to be called here on Micah Baines. And that's going to be number 2 on the Northland senior point guard. Egan sits down as Hinnant is back in. Hinnant with 2. Egan sits down scoreless. Yeah, the guy they missed from a year ago is Kyle Gardner, was the guy underneath that really was a strong post presence in Springfield. To the other end, Baines, the lefty with the right hand, drops it in. He's got 5 points, and it's 37-24 with under 3 minutes to play in the half. Carius, a jump hook, or make that Collier. And post 101, post defense 101, says you can't let a guy catch the ball right there. Joe Collier will eat you for lunch if you do. 39-24, 15-point advantage. Right side, Conover. Thought about a 3, instead into the lane. Put it up, no good, and the rebound to Chris Smith. Smith outlet to McCoy. Left wing, Baker for 3, and he hits again. 9 points on 3 threes for Nick Baker. And head coach Mike McCarty says we need a timeout. Timeout on the floor, 2:21 to play first half. It's Thursday Night Hoops, presented by Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency and the Westfield Insurance Group. OCU 42, Northland 24. We'll take a 60-second timeout. It's OCU basketball here on the OCU Sports Network.
Greetings. I'm Mark Smith, president of Ohio Christian University. Each year, we invite the community to a festival of carols, a celebration of the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ.
I'm Dr. Rodney Soames, director of the OCU Chorale and Chamber Singers. We invite you to come join us for festive orchestrations of favorite Christmas carols, beautiful a cappella numbers, and Christmas selections from Handel's beloved Messiah. The chorale will be joined by the Circleville Community Choir and an excellent 45-piece orchestra composed of OCU faculty members, students, and area musicians. Pre-concert music begins at 6:30. Guests who come early will hear music by the chamber singers and other campus ensembles, as well as our invited guests. Following the concert, we light the campus Christmas tree, inaugurating the annual Festival of Lights on the university lawn. We invite you to come enjoy this evening with us. Admission is free, with donation of a canned food item for needy families in our area.
It's our gift to the community, and this year we invite you to be a part. Join us on this exciting occasion.
Baines hit a three while we were away. Cuts it to 15, 42-27. Conover to Lewis. Lewis, little runner, put it off the glass and in. Not sure if he called bank, but doesn't matter. Anthony Lewis with 10, and it's 42-29, and they're going to call a carry on Ernie McCoy, and it's going to give it back to Northland with 1:46 to play. So obviously a big $146 if you're watching up in Dunbar, Wisconsin. Was a 16-point lead down to 13 after the three, or down to the two, I beg your pardon, by Lewis. And the Pioneers could really benefit from digging into this lead a little bit more. It's still at 13. 90 seconds to play in the half, and a hand check is going to be called, and I believe it's going to be on Ernie McCoy again, who's picked up his second foul. Team is over the limit, and so it's going to allow Micah Baines, who shot 75% at the charity stripe a season ago, to go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1 here. Valenzuela will sit down here before the first free throw as Barker is back in. Here comes Evan Bartlett as Ernie McCoy will sit down with the two personal fouls. 1:29 to play. Micah Baines, sports ministry major. His dad is a pastor in North Carolina. Not only discipled his son pretty well, Micah Baines, but has had a pretty big impact on the two other guys from Wilson, North Carolina on this team. Talking about James Hinnant and Anthony Lewis. First free throw by Baines is no good. Northland is 3 of 8 from the charity stripe in this first half. That doesn't help, especially when their front ends are 1-and-1s. 42-29, $1:15 to play to the intermission.
There's not going to be anyone outwork me. I'm a competitor. I want to win.
A lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice. I put a lot of pressure on myself to play well.
I'm not going to quit.
Tough-minded and self-disciplined.
You got to make this drive. You got to score to win.
I drive myself to the limit.
I'm going to do the best I can.
It's always going to be a comforting feeling knowing that there's someone who's got my back no matter how I play.
I know that it's because of him that I am where I am, and without him, I'm nothing.
And we do welcome you back to the Maxwell Leadership Center. Rick Cooper, we are at halftime where OCU leads Northland International University 46-34, a matchup of the two top seeds from the 2013 National Championship. Of course, OCU was the number 1 overall seed that ended up winning 3 games, including that national championship. And Northland, third national tournament appearance in school history, lost both of their meetings. They lost in round 1 to number 7 seed Arlington Baptist, and then ended up in an elimination game on Friday when number 3 seed North Central out of Minneapolis, led by the Maravich Award winner Nate Roeder, beat them in that game. That basically, if you lost, your season was over. If you won, you had an opportunity to play the next day for 5th place. And so Northland lost that one and went home with an 0-2 record, but again, they thought pretty highly of them, winning the Midwest region, and a lot of the same pieces back from that team a year ago. Got off to a really good start here, built about a 10-point lead on OCU early in that first half, and again, I want to beat a dead horse. Those of you back in Dunbar are going to put a shoot through your computer right now, but they did so well early and then kind of got away from what was going so well, started settling for threes, settling for fadeaways, settling for shots on the move that weren't good shots, and you're not going to win in this building against a team that went 12-2 in the Leadership Center a season ago. You're not going to beat them by shooting those kind of shots, and so OCU, once down by double digits, has a 12-point lead here at the intermission. We'll take a look at some of the scoring numbers. Let me tell you again, it is Thursday Night Hoops, presented exclusively by Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency and the Westfield Insurance Group. Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency right here in Circleville. They provide quality protection, superior customer service, and the lowest insurance rates with coverages tailored to your specific needs. Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency is the official insurance agency of Ohio Christian University Athletics, and we thank them for that. Scoring numbers in this first half. First of all, for Northland, a couple guys in double digits. Micah Baines, their senior point guard, with 11. Anthony Lewis, their senior power forward, with 10. 4 points in that first half for Matt Barker, and then 4 different Pioneers had 2 points apiece. Talking about Josh Conover, Luke Valenzuela, James Hinnant, and Noah Petraz. Northland 7 of 13 at the charity stripe in that first half. The only guy in foul trouble for the Pioneers is Micah Baines, who has 2 fouls here at the intermission. For OCU, 2 different players in double digits. J.J. Smith with 14 points off Tony Stockman's bench to lead the way. A dozen for Wesley Russell, 9 for Nick Baker on 3 threes. He played outstanding. 4 points in that first half for Chris Carius, 3 for Danny Schrock, and 2 points apiece for Joe Collier and Evan Mills. The Trailblazers 3 of 4 from the charity stripe for 75%. And foul trouble, a little bit of it for the team wearing white and blue. Ernie McCoy with 2, Evan Mills with 2, Chris Little with 2, and Lawrence Parsons got 2 quick ones coming off the bench in that first half. I want to say a special hello. I know Dan Boyle, Christine Boyle, Courtney Boyle, and Kevin Boyle up in Seven Hills, Ohio, watching the broadcast tonight. So a special hello to that family. Big fans of OCU athletics, and appreciate them listening up in Northeast Ohio tonight. So halftime here in the Maxwell Leadership Center, the HER Realtors Tip-Off Classic, presented Thursday Night Hoops, as they always are, by Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency and Westfield Insurance Group. OCU 46, Northland 34. We'll have some more of the first half stats coming up after this timeout here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazers Sports Network.
Fairfield Christian Church is honored to present An Evening with Randy Stonehill. Randy Stonehill, Wednesday evening, November 13th at 7:30. Bring a friend and enjoy the music. Bring a friend and enjoy the fun. Bring a friend and enjoy the inspiration of Randy Stonehill. This love offering concert is sponsored in part by WLRY 88.9 FM.
Candy, and I am a graduate from Ohio Christian University. You may be wondering why you should choose OCU. Let's find out why a few freshmen chose to join our OCU community.
Small, close-knit area, and I liked how the atmosphere was. It seemed friendly and warm, and it didn't seem like there's a lot of strangers. Everyone seemed to know everyone. And
I chose OCU because I heard it was a great college to come to, and my pastor's daughter is coming here, and she said how fun it was and the great experience that she's been having.
With a strong sense of community and a safe Christian environment, it's easy to feel right at home on campus.
Campus, definitely everything I hoped it would be. When I came in, as soon as I did, I felt the atmosphere. It was a rich with life place.
It was a fun experience. I met more people, and I even got some friendly reminders of people that were here and how good of an experience it will be for me when I come in the fall.
OCU campus is continually growing, giving students more opportunities to connect with faculty and classmates, both inside and out of the classroom.
The new Student Center is amazing. There's classrooms and a new cafeteria. I love the landscaping and I love the little places where you can sit and study.
I like how small it is because it's easier to get around.
At OCU, small class sizes give you the opportunity to build a personal relationship with each of your professors.
I don't want to have just a professor just talking to me. I want them talking with me. Almost like a family environment. They helped you out one-on-one.
They seem very supportive and very helpful in any way that they can be.
They're all very easy to talk to.
At OCU, we offer over 25 majors in business, government, Christian ministries, interdisciplinary studies, music, psychology, and teacher education.
Well, I really want to be a teacher, and I feel like OCU's teaching program is probably top of the line. They seem like they care deeply about each individual on a one-on-one basis, and they want their success, and I really would like that.
But I want to do psychology, and I want to also help in ministry any way that I can.
I hope it prepares me to be a youth minister to help spread God's word to the youth around the world.
All of our classes are integrated with a Christ-centered, biblically based education. You can experience OCU for yourself. Schedule a campus visit today.
Halftime here in the Maxwell Leadership Center. Ohio Christian with a 46-34 halftime lead. Trailblazers looking to try to win for the 23rd time in 25 tries dating back to last year. They're also trying to extend a nation's best 23-game win streak against NCCA Division II schools. That win streak dating back to the 2012 national semifinals when they lost to Grace Bible College. So again, it is halftime. Let's take a look at some of the other first half numbers in this game. We gave you scoring numbers in terms of shooting statistics. Northland 38%, 12 of 32 from the field. OCU 53%, 19 of 36. Trailblazers 6 of 17 on threes for 35%. Northland 2 of 10 for behind the arc for 20%. The Trailblazers hit 2 out of 4 from the charity stripe for 50%, and Northland 8 for 12 officially for 67%. The battle of the backboards, a huge advantage for the team in white and blue. The Trailblazers plus 14, 26-12 on the backboards. 4 of those offensive for OCU, 22 defensive rebounds. In terms of assists, the Trailblazers dished out 9 dimes. The leading assist man was Ernie McCoy. Northland had 6 assists, and it was James Hinnett, the starting small forward, that dished out 3 of those. Leading rebounder, by the way, for OCU was J.J. Smith. He is also the team's leading scorer in this one with 14 points. Leading rebounder for Northland is also their leading scorer, Anthony Lewis, with 13 points and 5 rebounds. Both teams doing a pretty good job taking care of the basketball. Northland with only 3 turnovers in that first half, and OCU with 7 in the first half. Again, shooting numbers, a big statistic. OCU 53% from the field, Northland only shooting 38%, and the Trailblazers plus 14 on the battle of the backboards, and they lead 46-34 here in the Maxwell Leadership Center. Pizza Cottage is the official pizza of OCU Athletics. Stop by after the game and enjoy award-winning pizza, subs, salads, wings, and spaghetti. Pizza Cottage, 23401 State Route 23 in Circleville. You can give them a call right now at 740-474-3620. And again, we say thanks to Craig McMillan, Chad Dawson, and the rest of the team at Pizza Cottage here in Circleville. This is the HER Realtors Tip-Off Classic. 2 games already in the books earlier today. Reinhardt and Trinity International. Reinhardt out of Georgia taking on Trinity International out of Chicago. And Reinhardt won that one 90-87. A big turnover late in that game, according to our main man in terms of the media, JT Burcham, who was here, who saw the finale. Reinhardt won 90-87. Second game of the day, today. Both of them will be future opponents of OCU, Robert Morris and Point Park. Robert Morris, an 87-84 win. They hung on late to pull that one out. Robert Morris, a team that has quite a run. They have been to the national tournament. They've been the NAIA national runners-up, and they will be OCU's opponent on Saturday at 4 p.m. in this building. Point Park has led the NAIA in scoring each of the last 2 years. They will be OCU's opponent tomorrow night, which is a great way to tease tomorrow night, a great lead-in. 8 p.m. tomorrow. It'll be OCU and Point Park. We'll have it for you with live video. 7:40 with the HER Realtors Dan and Donna Daly pregame show. The ring ceremony is slated for 7:45. We will carry it live for you here on the OCU Trailblazers Sports Network. So if you can't get here, which we encourage you to do everything you can to be here, but if you can't, you can tune in and watch every moment of that banner raising and ring ceremony. Again, tentatively slated for a 7:45 start. We'll go on the air at 7:40 with the pregame show. And looking ahead to Saturday, it'll be an audio-only broadcast against Robert Morris, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:40 with the pregame show. OCU will get it first here in the second half, and good two-man game with Russell and Carius. Big man rolling to the basket, and Russell hit him in stride. Chris Carius, 6 points, 3 field goals, and OCU with a 14-point advantage. It's 48-34. Left side, it's Micah Baines. Baines back out to hit it. Still waiting for that young man to get to the rim and do something special. Sprite, slam dunk champion from Washington, D.C. Right side, Egan got a good look on a three. No good. Up high, the rebound, Evan Bartlett. Bartlett to Russell. Russell into the lane. Got the step. Put it up, no. But he was fouled and will shoot two. The foul is going to be charged to Egan. That's number 2 on John Egan. First on the team here in the second half. And Wesley Russell shooting free throws at an 85% clip here early in 2013-14. Will go to the line and shoot 2. Trailblazers lead is 14, 48-34. We told you about OCU. Northland will finish this tournament with Trinity International tomorrow, a team that they played a week ago. Remember, that was the game that they were up 10 at the break and then got outscored by 17 in the... Well, they lost by 17. They got outscored by 27 in the second half. Imagine that. Tale of two halves. They'll play Trinity tomorrow here at 4 p.m. local time, and then they'll play Reinhardt at noon on Saturday. Reinhardt out of Waleska, Georgia. Thank you. 3 right side by Lewis is no good. Rebound, Anthony Baines. Baines runner in the lane. Put it up. Did everything but stay down, and the rebound to Russell. Under 19 minutes to play in the game. Underneath Carius, and good help there by Baines. Boy, did he sneak down there and pick the pocket of Carius when he least expected it. A travel going to be called on Anthony Lewis, who tried to shake and bake against Carius. Going to like that matchup if you're Mike McCarty. Carius working hard, but Lewis a real good athlete. If they can get Carius away from the basket, you got to give the advantage to the senior Lewis just because of his athleticism. Right side, it's Schrock. Underneath to Carius. Again, rolling nicely, but again in his pocket, picked by Baines. Pioneers looking to run. Baines overthrew Conover, who had to save it in bounds, and he put it right into the hands of a Trailblazer. Left side, Bartlett's 3, no good. Tip up by Mills, no good. Sky high. Rebound, Anthony Lewis. Lewis to Hinnant, who went to the rim and dropped it in. Nice stop and start there. Changed speeds very well, did James Hinnant. He's got 4 points, and Russell going to get called for a carry. The R2, or the U2 rather, Chris Nelson right on top of that, and turnover going to give it right back to the Pioneers as Carius will sit down. And back in with those 2 fouls is Lawrence Parsons, who desperately wants another shot. Big fella got in here, and I'm not kidding you, probably played 2 minutes and picked up 2 fouls and had to go right to the bench. So Lots of energy, I'm sure, coming from Parsons, and he gets up sky high there to grab the rebound and sprints down the floor, eager to do some good. Russell, top of the key, underneath to Parsons, lost it, got it back. The southpaw goes left wing to Mills. Mills against Egan, into the lane, put it up over Egan and dropped it in. Mills has been quiet, 4 points in this game, 51-36 OCU. Trailblazers by 15. Egan between the circles. Left side, it's the freshman Hinnant. Again, a little stop and start runner into the lane is no good, and a foul is going to be charged on Hinnant as he tried to take it away from Evan Mills. First foul on Hinnant, the second on the team. 17:06 to play in the game. OCU by 15, 51-36. Rick Cooper, JT Burcham, Fairfield Media. Home opener tonight here in the Leadership Center. Great to have you with us. We'll be with you tomorrow night at 8 when the ring ceremony, banner raising will take place. OCU and Point Park tomorrow night at 8. And then Saturday at 4 p.m. it'll be OCU and Robert Morris out of Chicago. It'll be an audio-only broadcast. The links to listen live to that broadcast on the broadcast page on the OCU website. Look under Fan Zone, I believe, is the drop box you want to look at to get to that. Turnover there as they tried to feed Parsons underneath the basket. The turnover back to Northland with under 17 minutes to play in the game. Pioneers trailing by 15. Got off to a blazing start, but have been ice cold ever since. Nice play there by Lewis. He showed a screen. Everybody thought he was going to screen, and instead he just streaked to the basket, and Conover hit him in stride. That's the best play of the day for the team from Dunbar, Wisconsin. Nicely done. 51-38. Schrock to Mills, and Mills was hit hard as he tried to raise up near the left block. He'll get two. Foul is going to be charged on Hinnant. It's his second, team third. Valenzuela will check in after the first free throw from Evan Mills. Mills, the junior, of course, played one season at OSU Newark. Was going to play at OSU Mansfield back a season ago until that program decided to shut its doors, and I know the story, right? That's when he ended up in Circleville, and we're glad he did. Second free throw good for Mills as well, 6 points. He is a Pete Liptrap product. Legendary high school coach in Central Ohio at Pickerington North High School. Good guy, too. Mills played for Liptrap at Pick North. Right side three is up and in by Micah Baines, who's beginning to heat up. He's got 14 in this game. Schrock to try to answer on the rim. No good. Mills caught it in midair and tipped it in. Evan Mills, as we said, becoming a little bit more active. Conover answers with three of his own. 5 for Conover, and just like that, Northland hanging around. They're only down 11 with 15:47 to play in the game. Schrock, one dribble underneath to Mills, who took it around the rim and put it up and in. And a turnover, yes, a miscommunication between Anthony Lewis and Micah Baines. And a turnover there, and it's now 57-44. Looked like Sunday Matthias was on the verge of checking in, taking his shooting shirt off, got as far as Tony Stockman, and then Tony said, not so fast, big fella. Top of the key, it's Schrock into the lane, underneath to Parsons, who may have been pushed from behind and is going to shoot two. Looked like he may have taken a step before that foul, and Mike McCarty quickly off the bench, questioning maybe the foul or the lack of a travel call. Going to charge the foul to Josh Conover. It is his second. Team's fourth, and the first free throw by by Parsons, I beg your pardon, is no good. 6 of 9 are the Trailblazers, 67%. Conover sits. Valenzuela checks in. They have him for only one foul on the board, but I've got Conover for 2. And we're going to stay with that. 15:32 to play. Second free throw by Parsons is good. So the freshman from Galix, Virginia, two-time state champ, Virginia Player of the Year, broke some records by a guy named Moses Malone. Maybe you've heard of him, 58-44. And Baines, as we said, heating up. Nice move there on the left wing. He's got 16 in this game, and it's 58-46. Mills for three. Front of the rim, no good. Valenzuela runs down the rebound. Baines ahead of the pack, but Valenzuela threw it too far, and it's a turnover back to OCU. Yeah, Lawrence Parsons, if he didn't have a little bit of some academic issues out of high school, would be playing someplace at a Division I level. Let's put it that way. Broke all kinds of records, and a very special talent is Mr. Parsons. Had an ACL tear last fall, had surgery on that, was progressing well, and then had a meniscus issue this summer, had that taken care of, and not at full strength, and a little bit, it just takes some getting used to as well. Got the knee brace still that he plays with, and a foul here on Valenzuela, 47 feet away from the basket. His first, team fifth, and it's one of those things, even when the doctor says you can lose the brace, it's hard to put that thing aside, and so Parsons not 100%, not even close to it yet, as we've got a child running on the floor. The referee, Frank Bullock, right on top of that, stops it. Gets that young man back into a seat, and we're ready to play basketball. Under 15 minutes to play. OCU by a dozen. Russell to McCoy. Into the lane, and they're going to call an offensive foul. Valenzuela beat him to the spot, and he gets a charge on Ernie McCoy. It's his third, and the team's first here in the second half. (58-46). Northland could cut this to 10, maybe 9 with a three. Right side, Baines will fire that three. No good. Good box out by Nick Baker to grab the rebound. Baker to Russell. Long pass outlet to J.J. Smith. McCoy open for three. On the iron, no good. Smith, another offensive rebound. Went to the left hand and dropped it in. Looks like Micah Baines a little bit shaken up. And they stop play to take a look at him, as J.J. Smith now with 16 points, and Baines may have turned an ankle, going to sit down at least momentarily as Josh Conover is back in for him. Conover returns with 5. Micah Baines sits with 16. 60-46, 14-point OCU advantage as we near the 14-minute mark here in the second half. First of 3 for the Trailblazers. They'll take on Point Park tomorrow night. Anthony Lewis with a long 2, drops in another. 14 for Lewis. Point Park actually going to play 4 in a row. Right side, Baker's 3, no good. Conover the rebound. He was going to travel, so he got rid of the basketball, and he did a no-no. He threw it underneath the opponent's basket, and waiting for it was Parsons, who put it in, and a quick foul at the other end. Parsons with his first field goal. He has 3 points, and a foul at the other end is going to be charged to Nick Baker. It's his second, team second, and Conover apparently in the act of shooting will get 2. That's one of the other points of emphasis this year. Didn't necessarily understand all of it as I talked to the men in stripes before the game, just being candid, but basically, you're going to have more fouls in the act of shooting. A guy that has the basketball down at his hips, if he even remotely looks like he is shooting the ball. So you foul me, and I kind of lift up once I sense the contact. The referees, I guess, apparently are supposed to call more fouls in the act of shooting. They're going to be more generous. Another point of emphasis for the men in stripes. So Russell into the lane, put it up on the rim, no, and Parsons tried to tip dunk it. I'm not sure that thing wasn't going to stay down anyway. It looked like it was coming out, but Parsons didn't give it a chance to stay down as he came in and got his paws all over it. The foul is on Anthony Lewis. It's his second and the team's 6th. Russell to the line to shoot 2. The first one is no good. To finish that thought quickly on Point Park, they played up in Sylvania, Ohio at Lourdes University last night. come in from Pittsburgh to play that game, and now they play 3 in a row here, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So quite a stretch for the team from Point Park in downtown Pittsburgh. Second free throw is no good by Russell, 62-49. They lost that game against Lords and dropped it today, a tight one to Robert Morris, and a hand check is going to be called. I believe it was J.J. Smith that tried to slow down Anthony Lewis, and it was. First on him, third on the team. It is Thursday Night Hoops, presented by Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency and the Westfield Insurance Group. Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency, where insurance just got easier. 448 North Court Street in Circleville. Visit ZwoyerInsurance.com. Conover just hit a 3. He's got 9 points, and very quickly, Northland right back in this game, and they're going to call a foul as the 2 All-Americans, Russell and Conover, square off at that left block. And now they're saying it's his 4th. A minute ago, we were a foul short. And now they're going to say, I had 2. They had 1 on the board. Now I have 3. And they have 4 for Josh Conover. So Conover will sit down. And I'll say it again, we don't get everything right over here, but I don't think that's right either. Russell will go to the line as Northland over the limit, and that free throw is no good. Rebound Anthony Lewis. 62-52, 10-point game. Northland with a chance to get it into single digits, and Valenzuela score the basket, and he was fouled. Bucket's going to be good for Valenzuela. They're going to charge the foul to Parsons, who doesn't like it again. Foul on Parsons is his 3rd, team 4th. Points 3 and 4 for Luke Valenzuela. And he'll look for 5 with 1 more. Valenzuela, senior from San Francisco, a 4-year player, co-captain a season ago. Actually started a little bit last year when Conover was finishing up his soccer responsibilities. And you ask a question, Rick, how does a guy from San Francisco, California find his way to Dunbar, Wisconsin? This young man grew up in Wisconsin as a young kid. And so he is returning home to play for the Pioneers of Northland International. 62-55, 12:45 to play. Lead is 7 after the 3-point play from Valenzuela on an offensive foul. I think it's going to be an illegal screen, and it is on J.J. Smith as he tried to free up Wesley Russell. 2nd on Smith, 5th on the team, and again, you blink, you go get some popcorn, and all of a sudden this is a 7-point game, 62-55, with 12:33 to play in the game. Baker nearly took it out of the hands of Petraz, but could not keep it in bounds. So it'll stay with the Pioneers. Northland, formerly Northland Baptist Bible College, had 400 students a year ago, down to 300 as they make the move, talking to their assistant coach, Austin McCoy, from an independent Baptist school to more of a conservative evangelical school. Don't ask me after the game what that necessarily means. McCoy said it's a good move for the school, but it has hurt enrollment short term as they've dropped about 25% of their students here this year. They have a seminary up there as well. 62-55. Lewis from 17, a little bit too strong. Rebound into the hands of Chris Little. Little to Bartlett, left side, J.J. Smith firing a 3, and he hits again. 19 for J.J. Smith. A big one there as it opens the lead back up to 10. Underneath. Nice little step through there by Anthony Lewis. Not many guys at this level going to stop a big-time move like that. And it's 65-57. One interesting thing you can do up at the Northland, I like, a nice sports ministry major. I like that. I think every school that's got athletics should have that major. And a 3 by J.J. Smith is no good. It may have been Sunday Matthias, and it was, trying to grab the rebound. Created a little bit of space underneath the basket and apparently did it illegally. It's his first, team 6th. like to have had a sports ministry major back at my alma mater. Would have been a neat degree to get. They've got it up at Northland. 65-57. Under 11 and a half to play in the game. Valenzuela, left baseline, back out to the left wing, and Egan. This again is Hinnant. Now back to Lewis. Lewis, a turnaround. This one, J.J. Smith played pretty good D there, stayed on his feet and forced Lewis into a bad shot. OCU to the other end, penetration by Bartlett, but didn't get it into the hands of Sunday Matthias. Good idea. Matthias will sit down as Carius is back in. (65-57). Petraz with it. Back out to Matt Barker, who has checked back in, the freshman from Chicago. Hinnant with it. Underneath to Barker, who never could get his hands on it and control it. Ball loose. Ball on the floor. Egan took a shot to the mouth that looked like at midcourt. J.J. Smith ended up with it for OCU. Trailblazers lead is 8. Micah Baines continuing to walk behind the Northland bench, trying to test what looks like a left ankle issue. And I heard Mike McCarty say, "You tell me when you can go." So obviously they need Baines in there now. Turnaround by J.J. Smith. First time he's looked human in a while, as he has been in fuego most of the night. 65-57, and Valenzuela tried to get into the lane, and Chris Little got a chunk of his arm in the process. It's the third foul on Little, 7th on the team. Trailblazers over the limit, and Valenzuela should go to the line and shoot the 1-and-1. Haven't seen the gesture of a 1-and-1 yet, but the board agrees with me that we're at 7, and still have not seen anybody say that we're shooting 1-and-1. And now referee Frank Bullock on top of it and says, yes, we are going to shoot a 1-and-1. Couple substitutions come in, and Valenzuela will go to the line. Was only a 51% free throw shooter a season ago. Northland shot him at a 66% clip a year ago. They averaged 71 a game in 2012-13, gave up 68, 44% from the field, 39% on threes, which was number 3 in America. Boy, they had a good one underneath. They lost their starting center and their power forward, as Valenzuela's first free throw is up and in. They knew Brandon Gershman was going to be leaving. He graduated, but Kyle Gardner from the state of Arizona, they did not know was going to leave. And Gardner decided to go back home, as the second free throw by Valenzuela is good. Gardner went back to the state of Arizona, International Baptist College in Chandler, Arizona. IBC, as it's called. Left side, Bartlett's 3 is right there. First points of the game for the sophomore from Huber Heights. At 12.7 rebounds a year ago for Gardner, as Barker got free on some penetration and was hammered as he tried to raise up near the dots. The foul is going to be charged to 23, Chris Little, who had just checked back in and just picked up his 4th foul. So he will likely go back to the OCU bench with 9:53 to play in the game, and Matt Barker will go to the line and shoot 2. Yeah, Gardner, to finish that thought, and I won't mention his name again, was a strong post presence underneath. Got winded occasionally, but all of us big guys do after we work hard. And they, from what I see, Lewis, a versatile player that can do some good underneath, but looks like a void that they have yet to fill on this 2013-14 team. The one left by Gershman and Gardner. Second free throw is no good. So Barker, the true freshman, misses a pair. It was an opportunity to get within 7, and they can't take advantage. 68-59, OCU. Mills from the block, back out to Carius, now to Danny Schrock. Sophomore from Sugar Creek is checked back in. Splitting the double team was Bartlett, setting up Little, whose jumper never got there. Carius tried to save it, and apparently at a foot on the baseline, it's a turnover back to Northland. So The Pioneers continue to hang around, trailing by 9 with 9:30 to play in the game. Of course, we invite you to stick around after the game for the post-game show. We'll take a look at all the final statistics. We'll check in with Tony Stockman and put a headset on an OCU player as well. All that is coming up on the post-game show after this one is over. But still lots of basketball. 68-59, Anthony Lewis cutting to the rim and muscled it up and in. May have been fouled as well, as a couple Trailblazers swinging after the pump fake from Anthony Lewis. 68-61, the lead is 7. Dump underneath to Carius. Just off that left block, and Valenzuela, they drop down and pick his pocket again. Baines picked it earlier on the same exact play. Valenzuela jumps him here. Valenzuela to the left wing and Hinnant. Lewis, they start the offense here. Again, a pump fake, double team. Hinnant firing a three. This would be big, no good. Rebound, flat-footed to Danny Schrock. That one would have cut it to 4, and Hinnant got a real good look. Schrock shows 3 underneath Carius. Little jump hook came up short, and Hinnant grabs the rebound. Carius got a nice look there. 68-61, lead is 7. Another touch here for Lewis, very wisely done by Mike McCarty's squad, and Lewis fading away. Evan Mills, too good of an athlete to do that against. Mills blocked his shot. And at the other end, an offensive foul is going to be called on Chris Carius. I'm not sure what he did, but did something to kind of establish himself at the post against Matt Barker. So Carius doesn't like the call. It's his first, team 9th. It's an offensive foul, so no free throws at the other end. 68-61. Valenzuela sits down. Micah Baines is back in. I'll tell you what, if I'm Mike McCarty, I like Anthony Lewis getting a touch on every offensive set at the block. Let the defense react, and you react and do what you do based on what they do, if that makes any sense. Barker had a shot blocked by Parsons. Lewis fires a 3, no good. Offensive rebound, Barker, and a foul is going to be called, I believe, on Evan Mills. We'll see who they charge it to, and it is going to be Evan Mills. And that's going to be his 3rd, and maybe just as important, it's number 10 on the team here with 7:50 to play in the game. So OCU, 10th team foul means the Pioneers will shoot 2 free throws on every foul rest of the way. Wesley Russell just realized it's 2 as he was gesturing 1-1, and the U1 Kenneth Tucker said, no, we're shooting 2. Barker, who just missed a pair, hits the free throw here, and the second one is good as well. So Matt Barker with 6. Unofficially 15 of 21 for Northland. 7:50 to play in the game. We'll take a break. It is Thursday Night Hoops, presented by Sawyer & Associates Insurance Agency and Westfield Insurance Group. 68-63 OCU. This is the OCU Sports Network.
When it comes to choosing a school, parents who want the best education for their students look for academic excellence, skilled teachers, a safe school that encourages their values. Students want a school with competitive athletics, unique opportunities, and friendships that last a lifetime. Fairfield Christian Academy, the place where parents and students agree. Enrolling now at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Fairfield Christian Church is honored to present An Evening with Randy Stonehill. Randy Stonehill, Wednesday evening, November 13th at 7:30. Bring a friend and enjoy the music. Bring a friend and enjoy the fun. Bring a friend and enjoy the inspiration of Randy Stonehill. This love offering concert is sponsored in part by WLRY 88.9 FM.
Finishing up the West Banco Bank for Cash on these out on the floor right now, and that young man, if you get a shot of the floor, JT, Scott, and those guys just won $50 as he leaves the floor in the West Banco Bank for Cash promotion. They do it at every OCU home game. $5 for every made shot that is a bank shot from outside the lane. So I want to say thanks to Missy Rhodes and the folks at West Banco for sponsoring that activity all season long. So it's a happy young man, a college student that wins $50. Nicely done. Oscar Castro, 68-63, 7:33 to play. Russell got the step, tried to flush it, and could not do it, but he was fouled as I think he was hit on the head by Barker. It's exactly the call. I thought that's what it was, and then you see the gesture by the U2 Chris Nelson. I love when the referee gestures shot to the head. It's one of my favorite. I referee a little bit. Love that call. To hit yourself in the head. First free throw by Russell is up and in. It is a foul on 32 Barker. It's his second, team eighth. Wesley Russell working on a 14-point night as he makes both free throws and give him 15. I'm going to say it. How many guys can have a quiet night when they score 15? But Russell has been a little bit quiet. Only 3 points here in the second half after a dozen in half number one. Baines, how did he get that in there? Got it in there to Barker, who had his shot blocked by Parsons. Got into the hands of Lewis, who was fading into the Northland bench, and he saved it to a Trailblazer. Russell, and he traveled. He sure did, as he tried to work top of the key. Again, I'll use the phrase hanging around are the Pioneers. 70-63. 7:05 to play in the game. Rick Cooper, JT Burcham, and the staff from Fairfield Media, and a blocking foul is going to be called on Russell. Again, as the two All-Americans square off on that left wing. And Russell was hoping for a charge call, but instead it's the foul on Russell, and it's fine to try to fight for that call. The problem is when you don't get it, it's a team over the limit. Wesley still pleading his case, and it translates to free throws for the other team, 2 of them as a matter of fact. Northland now shooting free throws 22 and 23, and they miss them both again. So they have missed some critical free throws. 15 of 24, which isn't terrible. Parsons underneath. Lewis blocked his shot. Mills put back. Mills again, no good, and it goes out of bounds to Northland. I beg your pardon, out of bounds off of Northland. It'll stay with OCU. Well, the Pioneers have missed. I mean, they've made 15 of 24, which is fine. But they have missed some free throws and really could have made this interesting. I mean, it still is. It's 7, but well, you get down to a 2-possession game and puts a little heat on the Trailblazers as Mills gets into the lane. He's got 12 points, 10 of them here in the second half. 72-63, 6.5 to play in the game. Conover to Lewis. Lewis cross court to Baines, who's been quiet, fires a 3. A little bit too strong, and the rebound into the hands of Danny Schrock. Schrock to Russell into the lane. A scoop shot with the left hand, no good. Parsons had it, lost it, and then a jump ball called between Evan Mills and Anthony Lewis. Possession arrow will give it to Northland. 6:07 to play in the game. 72-63. Trailblazers by 9, looking for their 24th straight win against the NCCAA Division II. 6 minutes exactly to play. Conover, cross court to Hinnett. Underneath to Lewis against Parsons, and he went right around him and scooped it up with the left hand. Anthony Lewis has been a game changer tonight. 20 points for the senior from Wilson, North Carolina. We talked about Tay Spell earlier. Also from Wilson, former Trailblazer, and he is in the building tonight. Just spotted Tay Spell as Danny Schrock just hit his second 3. 6 points for Schrock, 3 in the first, 3 in the second. 3 of the starting 5 for the team from Wisconsin, from the state of North Carolina. Conover's 3, no good. Hinnant saved it. Baines had his shot blocked by OCU. Trailblazers on a 4-on-2. Schrock a little stop and start. Lost the basketball and ends up in Hinnant's hands. And a foul on Schrock, who tried to come right back and take it from the guy who took it from him. Foul on Danny Schrock is his first, team 12th. And again, we walk to the other end and shoot 2 free throws. So 4-on-2 advantage at the other end for OCU, and they didn't even get a shot. I like the stop and start from Danny Schrock, but he lost the basketball after he made the move. James Hinnant, 6'1", 165-pound freshman. As we said earlier, did not play high school basketball. First organized basketball that he has played. Prior to this point, he was known strictly as a leaper, a dunker. And I actually, after talking to head coach Austin McCoy, I actually Googled James Hinnant, Sprite slam dunk, and took about 5 minutes to watch some of the moves he can make. And they are quite special. Let's just say it's worth 5 minutes of your time. Second free throw is good again by Hinnant. He has a half dozen. Valenzuela will check back in. Hinnant will sit down. He sits with 6. Valenzuela back with 7. There's a guy in the second half besides Lewis that has really been a spark. It has been the senior Luke Valenzuela, guarding the national tournament MVP, Wesley Russell, here. Under 5 minutes to play. It's an 8-point game. Russell to carry. His 10-footer is on the rim, no good. Micah Baines the rebound. Outlet to Valenzuela. Valenzuela nearly had it taken away from behind. Baines gonna fire a 3 and he hits it. 19 for Micah Baines. And folks, this is a 5-point basketball game, 75-70. Under 4.5 to play. Russell picked up by Valenzuela. Left side to Smith. Cross court. This is Evan Bartlett. Curious there to set a screen. Now goes away. Bartlett fires a 3. No good. And Baines a rebound. Northland can cut this to a 1-possession game with a bucket here. 4:05 to play. Right side, Valenzuela. Baines for 3. Got it again! 22 points for Micah Baines. And this is a 2-point game. 75-73. Thursday Night Hoops presented by Zoyer and Associates Insurance Agency. Westfield Insurance Group. This would be big from J.J. Smith. He hit again. Set up by the dribble drive of Wesley Russell. 78-73. Baines on that left wing. Barker there to set a screen. And now Baines to answer. This one goes halfway down and out. And it's going to go out of bounds off Anthony Lewis and back to OCU. So Baines feeling it a little bit. That one went halfway down, caromed out. Tony Stockman gesturing that he would like a timeout. He would like it to be a full. And the U1, Kenneth Tucker, grants that request here with 3:22 to play in the game. We'll keep it right here and tell you Thursday Night Hoops are presented exclusively by Zoyer and Associates Insurance Agency and Westfield Insurance Group. The team at Zoyer and Associates Insurance Agency has been specializing in insurance services for auto, home, commercial, and life since 1871. To learn more, call 740-474-6023, or you can visit them on the web at ZoyerInsurance.com. Zoyer spelled Z-W-A-Y-E-R. So it looks like Zoyer. It's pronounced Zoyer, and they are the official insurance agency of OCU Athletics. The Blue Crew having some fun on your screen right now. Also tell you one more time about Rack's Roast Beef. They are a proud supporter of OCU Athletics. You present your OCU student and staff athletics pass at the Circleville Racks and you get quite a deal. It's a deluxe roast beef, ham or turkey sandwich, a large fry, and a large drink for only $4. Again, with your student and staff athletics pass, present that. You can use that pass as many times as you'd like between now and May 31st of 2014. I'd rather racks, wouldn't you? 3:22 to play in the game, 78-73. Rick Cooper, JT Burcham, Ricky Cooper to my right, doing a great job on the camera. Delighted you've decided to join us. We'll be with you tomorrow night as well, 7:40 with the pregame show. The banner raising, ring ceremony, tentatively slated for a 7:45 start. We will cover that live. You'll hear all the audio piped into our broadcast. It should be a special night. If you can't get here to the Leadership Center, we sure hope you'll tune in. Point Park and OCU tomorrow night at 8, and a foul as Valenzuela trying to contest that 15, 16-footer by Russell and got a little bit too close. It is his second and the team ninth, so 2 free throws the rest of the way for OCU as Russell with a 15-point night. We'll try to extend this to a 7-point game with a couple free throws, and the first one is right there. We told you earlier, Russell shooting the free throws at a real good clip here early on. Shot 69% a season ago, is at 85% here early in 2013. Valenzuela does check out as Hinnant is back in. Conover is in with those 4 fouls as well. Second free throw is no good by Russell, and a loose ball foul called here on Nick Baker. So Russell gets 1, but unfortunately that loose ball foul means we're going to walk to the other end. And Northland going to get 2 with an opportunity to cut it to a 5-point game. Matt Barker, true freshman, was going to play regardless in this game. But the first big off the bench is typically junior Jordan Harrison, who is a soccer/basketball player. They weren't sure what Harrison was going to do about 48 hours ago, and he elected to stay in Dunbar so that he could travel with the team to the national tournament in Kissimmee, Florida. The soccer team, that is. Bright and early Sunday morning, the men's basketball team will not be back in time. 79-73, one more for Matt Barker, and that one is up and in. So Barker splits a pair. He has 7. Harrison, quite a story, too. He's not here, but young man that has had a double knee replacement and is playing college soccer and college basketball. Can only play in limited spurts, but I don't care. A couple knee replacements, that is monumental. Brother of Harrison is the goalie on the Northland soccer team. Father is the women's basketball coach, so it's a family affair. Stolen here by Hinnant to the other end. Shot up no good as J.J. Smith contested it well. Russell the rebound, and he will get it to Bartlett with a 5-point advantage and nearing 2:30 to play in this game. 79-74. OCU in a 1-4 set here. They're going to keep it in the hands of their All-American. Russell to Baker. He's hit a couple of these before. This one never got there. Bartlett a rebound. Dumps it underneath to Smith, who kissed it off the glass and put it in. 24 for J.J. Smith. 81-74. The lead up to 7. Big break there on the air ball from Nick Baker. Hinnant, quick catch and pop as Carius couldn't get there in time to contest. 8 points for Hinnant, 6 of them here in the second half. And this is still a 2-possession game as we go under 2 minutes to play. 81-76, Trailblazers in white, moving right to left here with the basketball underneath Russell against the smaller Hinnant, and he wisely turned and took it right at him. 18 in the game, and Tony Stockman a timeout before Northland could bring it in. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Again, OCU back in action tomorrow night. 8 p.m. against Point Park University out of downtown Pittsburgh, PA. 8 o'clock is the scheduled tip time. They do have 2 games tomorrow before that one. 4 p.m., this Northland team will play Trinity International in a rematch of a game a week ago, Friday, November 1st. It's a rematch. Trinity won that first meeting by 17. Robert Morris and Reinhardt will play tomorrow at 6 p.m. So as long as we stay on task, on track, that game will get underway tomorrow at 8 p.m. 7:40, we'll be on the air regardless with the pregame show. And the ring ceremony and banner raising are tentatively slated for a 7:45 start. We'll have it for you live. Again, JT Burcham working his magic to pump audio into our stuff, their audio into our audio, so that you can hear all the exciting action of that special event, sponsored in the arena by Dan and Donna Daly, HER Realtors here in Circleville. 83-76, minute 25 to play. Conover to Lewis to Micah Baines. Shot clock is at 15. Baines underneath to Barker. Back out to Baines. Trying to get a 3 free, and his shot is no good, but apparently Nick Baker got him on the arm, and he's going to shoot 3. Was it on Baker? J.J. Smith in the vicinity as well, and they're going to charge it to 22. The freshman Nick Baker. You don't need me to tell you that's a no-no right now. You'd rather give up the 3 than foul a guy that shoots him at a 75% clip and allow him to score points with the clock stopped. 83-76. Baines' first free throw is no good. So what do you know, Rick Cooper? Maybe it was a good play, but first free throw no good by Baines. If he makes these 2, there's an opportunity to cut it to a 5-point game. The lead is at 7 right now, 83-76. Minute 13 to play. Second one is good by Micah Baines. He has a team-high 23 points in this game. 20 points for Anthony Lewis, who has been a little bit quieter, I would say, in the second half. J.J. Smith, the star of the night for OCU, with 24. Russell has 18, and Mills a dozen. Third free throw for Baines is up and in again. So Baines with 24. He hits 2 out of 3, and he cuts this to a 5-point game. 83-78 is our score. So OCU, Point Park tomorrow night at 8. Robert Morris on Saturday at 4. Robert Morris, a team that's been in the NAIA National Tournament like 5 straight years up until last season. So they are a power in the NAIA. They've been an NAIA Division I team. The conference they're in, the Chicagolands Collegiate Athletic Conference, the CCAC made a decision last season that what was once a split, half Division I, half Division II schools, they decided a year ago that we're going to be totally a D2 conference. Robert Morris didn't like that. They said, we're leaving. We're going to be an independent. And then they realized the scheduling nightmare that comes with being an independent. And they said, CCAC, take us back, and we'll be a D2. And so they are a Division II school, ranked currently number 6 in the preseason coaches poll. So a couple tough tests coming up for OCU. Point Park, a team that has led the NAIA in scoring 2 straight years, will be the opponent tomorrow, and a foul on Hinnett as Russell raced up the left sideline. And it's his 3rd. And it finally puts OCU into the double bonus as it's foul number 10. Conover was not on the floor for the defense, playing with 4 fouls. They'll bring him in here after the first foul from the junior Wesley Russell. Played his high school basketball at Centennial High School up in northwest Columbus, not too far from Dublin, Ohio. The first free throw by Russell is up and in. So 19 for Russell. Valenzuela sits down. So Lewis, Hinnett, Barker, Conover, and Baines on the floor for OCU as Russell puts it in again. He's got a 20-point night, and it's a 7-point game. Conover with a good look from 3 that went in and out. Anthony Lewis, an offensive rebound. Baines will fire a 3 on the rim. No good. Hinnett up high. Triple teamed. Will bring it back out. Lewis to Baines. Baines fires a 3 on the rim, no good. And finally, OCU with a rebound. And Hinnett going to be called for a foul as Bartlett went flying to the ground. So 4th foul on Anthony Hinnett. on James Hinnett, thank you. Team over the 10-foul limit. And so Evan Bartlett will go to the line at the other end and shoot 2. 71% free throw shooter a season ago. Free throws 20 and 21 for OCU here. Bartlett bends the knees and fires good. Bartlett with only 4 points in this game, all of them here in the second half. One of those guys, though, that I think Tony Stockman would say scoring a bonus. You're still going to keep a guy like this on the floor because he does so many other things well. And now either a violation or a loose ball foul, and they're going to call a foul on Lawrence Parsons. Tony Stockman warned me about this today. We had a little phone interview, and he said, Rick, Lawrence got in a little bit of trouble on Friday against Brescia at the CCU tournament because of his physicality. He said they didn't have anybody his size, and so he's under there being physical, and bodies are flying everywhere. And apparently Cincinnati Christian did have some guys that were a little bit more his size, but same thing has happened here tonight. Anytime he has tried to get aggressive underneath the backboard, they've called a foul. Valenzuela going to try to check in here after this free throw from Lewis that drops in. 22 points for Anthony Lewis, 46 between he and Micah Baines, the two seniors from Wilson, North Carolina, 2 of 4 seniors on this team. Conover the other, Valenzuela the fourth. 86-80 as Baines will sit down. 43.2 seconds left. Into Evan Mills. They double team Russell quickly, and a foul is going to be called on either Hinnett or Lewis. And Lewis puts his hands up to say, I don't like that call, but it's not necessarily a bad thing as it stops the clock with 40.8 seconds left. And Anthony Lewis, it's his third. If it would have been on Hinnett, that would have been the end of his night. So that's a good thing if you're a Pioneer fan as well. 86-80, 40.8 seconds left. 2 free throws here for Russell, and the first one is up and in. So Russell with 21 points. J.J. Smith with 24. Evan Mills with a dozen. Trailblazers with 3 players in double digits. And they lead by 7 here with 40.8 seconds left. Russell with 1 more free throw. Spins the basketball and fires and hits again. Russell with 22. And it is a 3-possession game as we near 30 seconds to play in the game. Hinnett hands it off to Baines. Baines double teamed. Cross court to Conover, who squares up, trying to get a 3 off. Instead penetrates and goes right wing to Hinnett. Trailblazers all over that 3-point line. Conover finally gets a good look after a pump fake, and it hits the front of the rim. And rebound OCU, and they foul Wesley Russell with 16.2 seconds left. So it took a while. The Trailblazers just defending the 3-point line. They were content to give up 2. They weren't going to give anything up uncontested from 3. Conover finally threw a pump fake. J.J. Smith took the bait. Conover got a good look and could not get it to fall. And OCU, barring a disaster, is going to win their 24th straight game against the NCCAA Division II. 23 points for Wesley Russell. Trailblazers lead is 9, 89-80. Russell bends the knees and fires again. Rim backboard, rim and in. So 90-80. Conover to the other end, took it at Parsons, and why not? Another foul on Lawrence, and if my numbers are right, that is number 5. I don't know if he fouled out at Brescia. I didn't ask Tony that. This may be the first time that Lawrence has fouled out of a game. That one, I think, was justified. Conover went into him, created contact, and almost forced that foul on the big fella. 11.4 left. Carius will come in for Parsons. Parsons sits with 3 points. Carius is back with 6. Conover, a 75% free throw shooter a season ago. The southpaw, nothing but net on the first. Gets into double digits with 10. Third Pioneer to score double digits. Only 7 have scored in this game. Second free throw for Conover, good again. Give him 11, and it's 90-82. Mills looking to inbound, does so to Bartlett, and looks like, well, maybe they'll foul one more time. Now they're going to trap, and now Evan Mills across the timeline, and that should do it. So OCU going to win again here in this building. They win for the 23rd time in the last 25 tries, and their streak against the opponents at their level, the NCCAA Division II, extends to 24 games. Got a little bit of a scare early, got a little bit of a scare late, but they win tonight by the final of 90-82. Coming up, the post-game show. We'll take a look at the final stats. We'll check in with Tony Stockman and hopefully put a headset on an OCU Trailblazer as well. 90-82 the final. It's Thursday Night Hoops presented by Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency, 448 North Court Street in Circleville. Call 740-474-6023. Zwoyer and Associates Insurance Agency proudly represents the Westfield Insurance Group. We'll take a break and have that post-game show coming up for you next here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Sports Network.
Colt International presents the Very Merry Christmas Tour, featuring new song, Audio Adrenaline, Sidewalk Prophets, Jason Castro, and special guest, Love in the Outcome. Share the gift of hope with your family and friends this season and enjoy one of Christian music's most beloved Christmas songs. Join New Song for the Very Merry Christmas Tour, featuring new song, Audio Adrenaline, Sidewalk Prophets, Jason Castro, and Love in the Outcome.
Presented by Fairfield Christian Academy at Fairfield Christian Church in Lancaster. December 11th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6. Tickets at itickets.com.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
We must train this generation. We must train this generation now.
Our future depends upon Christian higher education.
Christian leaders.
The future. And a record enrollment, building a place that is making a difference in the lives of students.
Because the next generation is going to affect our world today.
Back here in the Maxwell Leadership Center, Rick Cooper and OCU head coach Tony Stockman. After the game, the Trailblazers improved to 2-1 with a 90-82 win. First of 3 tonight here in this weekend in this HER Realtors Classic for the Trailblazers. And Coach, it wasn't easy. Got off to a slow start, and then at the end they made it interesting as well, but found a way to win down the stretch. What was the biggest difference in the last couple minutes of that one?
Yeah, I think I think the big thing was we talked about the last couple games. We started out slow at the beginning of the game and at halftime, and we did it again today. And I think that let them stay in the game. And this time we made the game-winning plays. Last game we didn't, the other team did, and we lost. But we can't keep it close when we're a better team. I feel like we gotta make sure we're playing harder than them, and then we'll win the game.
And maybe I'm going to put you in an unfair spot to comment on this, but when I saw Northland out at the national tournament, you didn't see them a whole lot because they lost, and as you said in the pregame, you were focused on the teams you might play. But it looked like they have all the tools to be successful, and then there was times where they just kind of settled for jump shots, settled for fadeaways, got away from what was working, and I kind of felt like that in the first half. They were having some success with Lewis. Nobody really could slow him down, and the next thing you knew, they were fading away from three and taking some tough shots, and I guess give credit to your team. You took advantage at that point.
Yeah, I think it was both things. I think our defense picked up a little bit and made it a little harder, but I think that they don't have a lot of numbers. I told our guys. They come out, ready to go, and they're going to play hard, and they're good.
Right.
And I think they just wear down a little bit. And I saw that in the game I scouted them in, and then I think that happened tonight. Like you say, they just came out playing great, and then they just wear down a little bit, and things are a little slower, and they're starting to shoot from a little farther out because it's the easiest way to go. And that's why we kept subbing our guys in and telling them, push on them, run, push, push, to try to wear them down.
Poor guy that couldn't push tonight was Big Lawrence. You were prophetic on that too. Our call this morning, you said Ricky got in a little bit of trouble banging with nobody that was his size against Brescia. And tonight, same kind of story. He must have had 5 fouls in about 6 or 7 or 8 minutes tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's aggressive, and we want him to continue to be that way. And with our depth, it's okay. So I tell him, go out there and play hard. He got to learn how to play without fouling, but while we got the time with the players, we can work on that throughout the year.
And another guy you talked about today, you said he just knows how to play within the system, was freshman Nick Baker, who hit 3 threes. And it's one thing to hit threes, but Coach, he just seemed to be in the right place each of those 3 times when the guy got into the lane with the dribble drive.
Yeah, he's a very smart player, and we really like that about him. The thing is, when we played in the open gyms, he could not guard anybody in defense, but he's a great system defender. So, he follows our rules, and he's always in the right spot, like you said, on offense and defense. And when you do that, you're going to have success.
J.J. Smith, you told me off the air before we got on here, you didn't call a single play for him tonight. He finishes with 24 points. What allows this young man to be so successful and to do it in his 3rd collegiate game?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I always say he finds the ball, but I think the ball finds him. I think he's lucky, but he's always in the right spot. I think he's a ball hawk, and when he gets his hands on the ball, he got it, and he got great touch around the basket. Very good, like I say, just a very smart player and knows how to play and find his spots.
And he's a guy that you've talked about it, how versatile he is. I mean, I guess how are you going to slow him down? You're going to put a big guy on him. He's going to beat you outside. You put somebody small on him, and looks like he has a lot of touch around the rim as well.
Yeah, great touch around the rim. I think the surprise for us has been that he's been knocking down threes the first 3 games. So hopefully that continues.
And so he's a Westland High School kid.
Yep.
So starting to get more from the city of Columbus, which is always a good thing. First of 3. Proud of your guys for, again, we talked about it pregame with Point Park, the NAIA's leading scoring team tomorrow, all the festivities. Saturday, Robert Morris, a team that's played for the NAIA championship. This was an easy game to overlook. You said they didn't get out to a great start, but able to get out of here with a victory tonight. How proud are you of the effort?
Yeah, I'm happy that we finished. Like I said, made the game-winning plays, but I'm a little upset about our start and then our second half start as well. Letting them stay around. I felt like we were a better player, a better team, deeper team, and I felt like when we played hard, that's when we took our lead up to 18. We let them cut it down to 12 before half, and then we let them cut it, I think, all the way down to 2. But we made the plays to win, so happy about that. But we can't do that, like you say, tomorrow and Saturday. There's no way we can do that and have a chance. So the other thing is we're not physical enough. I thought they were rebounding, getting all the 50-50 balls, and if we don't do that the next 2 days, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Any concern? I know Evan Bartlett does so much for this team. Scoring is probably just an added plus, but only 4 points tonight. How much does that concern you?
None at all, and and that's the thing that I'm trying to talk to him about. He feels pressure for some reason because Ernie McCoy, his backup, comes in and scores a lot, so he feels like he hasn't done it. I told him they're 2 different players, and what he does for us is great, and that's why he played a lot tonight, because he just, the pace of the game, getting the right people the ball, getting us in the right offense. He's a very smart point guard, and I love his game. And hey, anything he gives us offense, I think is a bonus.
Yeah, guys like him, it's got to be tough, though. You watch the NBA, and all you see anymore are scoring point guards.
Yeah,
and you feel like you're not doing your job if you don't put it in the bucket.
Yeah, and he can score. He's just putting pressure on himself to score instead of just letting the game come to him and play. As soon as he does that, he'll start making his shots.
Let's talk real quick. Just a thought on Point Park. What did you see that impressed you? What did you see that concerned you? Where do you hope you might have an advantage tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. I think their physicality is what scares me the most. Is our guy's going to match it? We're going to be smaller. We can go with a lineup that can, I think, in size-wise match up. But are we going to be physical enough to push them out of the way and get rebounds and play? And then, like I said, they want to score. The game today, Robert Morris did a great job of slowing it down, moving the ball in their zone. We like to play fast, so we're going to get it up too, and then they're going to run right back at us. So it could be a high-scoring game, and you worry about that a little bit.
Well, I'm going to have my inhaler here. I'm going to be ready to call a lot of fast-paced basketball, and it should be a pretty special night in this building tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, it's a new year, and you try to get ready for that, but it's always good to celebrate your success. And I think it's great for the school, great for the community. Hopefully everybody comes out and gets to enjoy it with us.
It'll be fun. Coach, appreciate your time tonight. We'll do it again. Same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow night. So
sounds good. Thanks a lot.
That's the head coach of the Trailblazers, Tony Stockman, here on the pregame show or postgame show. Trailblazers win tonight by the final of 90-82. They do improve to 2-1. 90-82 is the statistic that matters. OCU a winner for the 24th straight time.